Tonight is a night of excessive drinking, it seems. St. Peter's whiskey beer, the English. It's quite nice. I'm basically using it all. Well, consuming it all because I'm gonna basically not get any more booze anymore after this, because I'm thinking it might be time to train and prepare. I'm a prepper basically, and I'm going to prepare for the wars to come, let's say. There's going to be a recession, that's for sure. That's going to be on the way. There's going to be civil unrest and possibly even war. There's too many people in this country that want different things and want to pull this country into many different directions. It's expected. I think I was saying the same thing since I left school. I suppose I could say that I had common sense. My parents were very liberal, and yeah, I wasn't at all. I liked history, and I could see patterns in history, and yeah, the wars to come will involve a lot of violence, a lot of cruelty. And I think you just have to ready yourself for it. Now, I care about homeland and nationalism, you could say, but you're very nihilistic. You seem like you don't really care about anything, and no, I want to care about something, and I care about my people, my homeland, and my ancestors. Doing right by them, basically. You could say a man of contradiction, I suppose. To quote Taxi Driver. This country keeps giving away money that we just don't have to give away, right? And so to make that money back, the government just thinks to steal from old pensioners and stuff, and thinks, that'd be right. They're going to die soon anyway, so it don't matter. Fuck them. As long as we're paying and looking after foreigners, it's the native people. Well, they can go fuck off. As long as we're looking after the people who shouldn't even be our responsibility to begin with, who are dangerous and hostile and expect things for free. I used to drink quite a lot at one point. I used to go to sort of used to go out to nightclubs and strip clubs and things like that, and such a waste of time. Such a waste of time. I suppose I was there for the vibe. Really, it's a degenerate lifestyle. It's debauchery. Fuck it. It's time to do nothing but training after today. Train and prepare. Go in the woods, do lots of training. And just wait. Wait for everything to kick off, which it will. I'll proclaim myself King of East Anglia. Why not? King of Essex. East Anglia sounds better because it's the whole region, isn't it? Yeah. Proclaim myself king. Or emperor. Why not? Take over the whole region. Send the foreigners packing, which it's necessary. I mean, I don't hate different people. I just recognise the faults of multiculturalism, and I believe that the human species is extremely fascinating. The diverse cultures that exist on this planet is really interesting. But to maintain that diversity is to keep everybody separate, because that's how they appeared in the first place. And no, I don't hate anybody. I just believe that people should be separate. I think that people don't belong in Britain. I think that there's certain people definitely don't belong in Britain, and certain people definitely cannot coexist with the native people of Britain. And everybody has a homeland, and everybody should have a homeland. So everybody should have a place to belong. I remember many years ago when I was talking to a guy at college. I think he was Russian or something, but he recognised he was Russian. He wasn't English, and he said, but the English deserves to go extinct. And I said, no, nobody deserves to go extinct. Well, what do you mean? And he said, well, the English conquered most of the world, and for that they deserve to have all these immigrants come here and replace them. Which I said, well, you're from Russia, right? And he said, yeah. And I said, well, what's Russia then? Is it like Russia is a country that still exists, which is a colonial empire, because most of Russia, like Siberia and in the east, is not even core Russian lands. You know, it's not even. Obviously, you have Russian people who have moved into those lands and sort of colonized those lands, because the natives of those lands are either Turkic or Mongolian or Siberia or whatever they are, but they definitely weren't Russian. And I said, so kind of with that opinion, don't you think that the Russians should go extinct as well? And he said, okay, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, I obviously went into more detail and explained about Russian history as they gradually, over the centuries, they gradually moved east and conquered certain people, and that they, all of Siberia isn't the homeland of the Russians. Um, he acknowledged this, and he was like, okay, yeah, fair enough. And yeah, I that's good. That's quite good sometimes when you can talk to somebody and they can recognise that, okay, yeah, I recognise I was incorrect with that, um, those opinions, that idea, because you get a lot of people who um, are very arrogant, and they're very sort of hostile towards you if they're adamant that they're right when they're obviously not, and you explain to them and they will not accept that they're wrong, right? They will not accept that at all. Anyway, I feel like I've gone off on a tangent. I don't even know what the point of this really is. Um, I've been drinking, and I've been basically filling off my uh, clearing out my cupboards basically, and drinking everything that I have left. And because I'm like I said before, I'm going to prepare for what the future holds, because I don't see. I'm a conspiracy theorist, I suppose you could say. I suppose. Pardon me. I Well, I have been a conspiracy theorist, I suppose, since I was very young. Yeah, it's strange how people develop differently, because with people you're surrounded by, you would think that a child would grow up and be very influenced by the people that child is surrounded by. But I wasn't influenced by anybody I grew up with. I wasn't influenced by my parents at all, and I grew up individual, quite an individual, um, and yeah, my parents were um, liberals, boomers, very out of touch. But even at a young age, I recognised this, and I thought, "You guys are full of shit. I don't agree with you." you know. Um, yeah, and I think that's good. I I I suppose I'm impressed with myself that I was able to think for myself and um, develop my own personality and my own kind of opinions, considering my upbringing as like well, I didn't know anything else. I only knew what their impression on me. That's really all I knew. But then over time, I just kind of developed my own personality and interests and beliefs and stuff. And I think that's good. Think your own thoughts, right? Think your own thoughts, and I think that's a good way to look at it. Yeah. This is probably just a fucking nothing video, really. It's probably just I'm recording for the sake of recording, because I'm in my room and I'm drinking and I've got all these fucking bottles down there and shit, and I'm just rambling, talking absolute shit. But you can choose to leave. It's entirely fine. You can listen to my ramblings, because I mean, even when I am sober, that's really all I do. I ramble anyway. I ramble when I'm drunk. I ramble when I'm sober. It's entirely up to you if you choose to stay, or if you choose to leave. I'm not forcing you to stay. Let's try and give this video more meat, I suppose. I yeah, when I was a kid, I grew up with two brothers. Um, my parents, they got divorced, and I was about 8 years old. Yeah, 8 years old, coming up for 9. That sounds about right. And yeah, my parents got divorced. My mother just disappeared. She just completely vanished. Right? I didn't know what. It was a very confusing time. I didn't really understand what was going on, and I remember there's a clip from Peaky Blinders that I found recently. I think I watched Peaky Blinders ages ago, but I rediscovered this clip, which was when. So basically, Tommy's little boy. He's got a little boy, and Tommy is Thomas Shelby is getting divorced from his wife, or separating from his wife, or whatever, and then you've got a little boy, and the little boy is deciding who he prefers to live with, and the mother's going, well, I want you to stay with your father, and the little boy says, I want to go with you, mum, because father is never there, and I feel like that. Um, It's almost exactly the same as what happened when I was a kid. Um, I was very confused. I didn't know what was going on, and I remember saying to my mother, "Can't you stay? Can I go with you?" You know, but I had to stay with my father. Um, yeah, just oh well. Anyway, um, so there's three of us. I was the oldest, and there was my middle brother and my youngest brother, and my father was very uh, sort of dismissive. I was always very curious, and I liked learning about all sorts of different things, about history, about culture, and nature, and I was really interested in all that sort of thing, and even pagan mythologies, um, which even the school at the time didn't even like me learning about things like that, and um, I was like, "Fuck you! I'm going to learn about it anyway." But I my father was very dismissive. He was very dismissive, and he was kind of like, he didn't really wanted to have children, but he kind of thought, well, it's what people do when they grow up and get married, because he was very sort of he wanted to hang out with his mates down the pub, and that's really what he wanted to do. That the family was not something he was really particularly interested in. But I grew up believing that the family was really the most important thing for men, for to have good morals and all that sort of thing. Um, and that's what I grew up believing. And my middle brother was he was kind of he was I suppose he didn't really have his own personality. He didn't really have his own kind of opinions on anything. And I noticed this in people when I was at school, in when I was around certain people at school. So, for example, um, I'll be in class and I'll be with some guy and I'll be chatting to him and I'll be saying, when I'm at home, I like playing Oblivion, and he's going, oh yeah, I like Oblivion as well, and then I was always like the disposable friend. I was always kind of like, um, nobody really wanted to hang around with me, but if there was no one else there, then they would have no choice but to hang around with me. And so the person that they really wanted to hang around would eventually show up, and their person I would notice that their personality would completely change. So one minute I'm talking about like, oh, I like playing Oblivion when I'm at home, and this other guy goes, yeah, I like doing that as well. But then when the person that person really wants to hang around with shows up and comes and joins us and is like, so what you guys been talking about then? And I'm like, oh, we're talking about Oblivion. And this guy goes, oh, Oblivion's gay. And then the other guy completely changes and says, yeah, Oblivion's gay. Like a parrot, like just copies that guy because that's the guy who he really wants to hang out with. You know what I mean? I hope I've explained that um, as well as I can. But my middle brother was very much like that. He never had any opinions of his own, and whenever I was with him, he was really interested in what I was doing, like uh, whatever I was doing. He was really interested. But then when my youngest brother would show up, he would immediately flip. He would completely flip because my youngest brother is who he really wanted to hang out with. So my youngest brother would come in and go, what are you gays doing? Oh, this looks gay. Ugh, what are you doing? Playing Oblivion? Oh, this is gay. And then my middle brother would just go, yeah, it is gay, isn't it? So I kind of, I learned how to suss people out, right? And I could pick up on these things, and I was quite blunt, where I'd say, you're full of shit. You're two-faced. You're full of shit. I don't want to hang around with you. You can fuck off. So, um, looking back now, I kind of think like, I wonder if that's like I don't know. I don't know why people do that. It doesn't make any sense to me. But I wonder if it's some kind of like, um, you're desperately trying to fit in with whoever's there. But why would you turn on that person and alienate that person when the other guy shows up? The other guy that you really want to hang out with. Why do you? I don't know. But it's really alien to me and really bizarre to me that people are like that. Um, and as a kid, I didn't understand that, and I just was very blunt and said, "You're full of shit. You know, I don't want to hang around with you. Your opinion changes, fluctuates, uh, depending on whoever's here. You know." My youngest brother was very much like my father. He was very dismissive, sort of. All right, you're boring me now. This is getting gay. Okay, I'm getting bored now. I'm going over here. And so I suppose I was quite curious and quite pragmatic and stuff like that, and I was quite chill. Would talk about anything, but I'd recognise how people were, really. I just recognised how people were, and I kind of thought to myself, you know, I'd much prefer to be on my own. I'd much prefer to do things on my own and go off and do my own thing, like go for a walk. And nobody else wanted to come for a walk with me, and I thought, fuck it, that's what I wanted to do. Well, you know, we always had a dog, which I had to walk. Nobody else fucking wanted to walk the dog. I had to cook for everybody when I was because when my parents separated, we were left with our father. My mum just disappeared. I don't know where the fuck she went or what she was doing, but she disappeared for ages, like for months, and my father just was completely defeated. He was completely annihilated by this, and so he went to the pub. He was drinking heavily, quite often. Pardon me. Quite often, quite heavily, and that never changed. That's how it was. And he would just disappear to the pub, and sometimes he'd disappear for a few days. And so we're like young, like really young, and I was like, what do we do? I don't know how to cook. I don't know how to do anything. So I had to quickly learn how to cook, basically, and but not just for myself, but for my brothers, and so that's what I did. Um, just got on with it, I suppose. My my middle brother, um, he eventually grew up. Well, he eventually um, went to uni. Now, when I got older, I started to grow my hair out and have long hair and stuff. None of us really looked anything alike, you know. None of us looked alike. We all looked very different from each other, completely different from each other, and I never really was influenced by anybody around me. I suppose maybe the older generation, who I hung out with quite a lot, when my brothers never saw them, never had anything to do with them at all. I was with my nan, I was with my grandfather and stuff, and I suppose my grandfather was a good influence on me, as he believed in old-fashioned family values and things like that. And without a proper like father figure around, I suppose I kind of went to hang out with the older generation because there was no one else really about to hang out with. But I was mainly my own person. I was happy just being on my own and doing whatever, because I knew what my brothers were like, especially when they were together. They were dicks, basically. So I thought, fuck them. I'm going to go off and do my own thing. Leave them to it. But I grew up my hair. My hair got long and stuff, and I remember basically paving the way because my parents were like, "Hey, you've got to have a haircut. I'm going to drive you to the hairdressers," and so they take me to the hairdressers, and I'm like, I'm not getting out of the car. I'm not getting out of the car. If I want to have my hair cut, I can go to the hairdressers myself or the barbers and go in and have my hair cut on my own. I mean, I don't need anybody to come with me, or I don't need to be forced to have a haircut. I am not having a haircut. I refuse. And so they got really pissy, they got really angry, but they just gave up. They gave up trying. And so when it came to, because my middle brother, he started growing his hair out, he started copying me, and he grew his hair out. And my parents were just like, oh, well, he's going to do what he's going to do, you know. So I basically paved the way um, for my parents not giving a shit. So my brother went to uni, and that was my middle brother. He went to uni, and he got his own group of mates. He he came back a completely different person, right? And before we used to say edgy shit and stuff, and so he went to uni, and then he'd come back, and then he's like, "That's not funny. That's not funny." So yeah, he changed. And so he got a girlfriend, and his girlfriend was like, she had short hair and dyed red hair as well. Um, so you know the type. And so I would imagine he was obviously very influenced by her. So um, I I haven't seen him um, for years, to be honest. I haven't really had much to do with him or much contact with him. He's got his own life now. He's doing whatever it is he does. But because he went to university to be a history teacher, and I feel like I had more of an influence on him than anybody, personally. He was very interested in. He became very interested in history, and so yeah, he wanted to pursue that kind of line of work by going to university, and but uh, after university, he got his qualifications and all that sort of thing. He did, what was it? Work experience as a supply teacher, and then suddenly he just stopped completely. That path was no longer of an interest to him. Um, he yeah, he just gave up with that, um, and so now he works in a pub. So yeah, I would imagine he's probably got a lot of student debt as he lived there at the uni for a little while. So yeah, he's completely rejected what he went there to actually do. He's ended up working in a pub. Well, as long as he's happy, I suppose that's all that matters, really, isn't it? But yeah, he grew his hair out and stuff because I think he was copying me, and then he he then came back with a mullet, and it's all like shaved on the sides and stuff, and you know, and he came back with his girlfriend, and he changed like entirely. Um, yeah, leaving leaving to it, I guess. My youngest brother um, is very sort of he just sort of he keeps to himself. He has a very solitary lifestyle. I think probably like me, I have lived a very solitary lifestyle. Um, yeah, like back to the fact that we all look extremely different because I'm the oldest. I'm also the tallest. I was the only one who managed to surpass like 6 foot. Who's taller than 6 foot. I also had red hair as well, and the others they didn't at all. They didn't surpass 6 foot. They didn't have red hair, and they've got very different personalities to me. Yeah. Uh, so yeah, my youngest brother, he didn't go to college or university. He did some training course. I'm not going to say what he ended up becoming because it's very specific. But he did this like training course and stuff. It's a very hands-on, very stressful line of work and stuff. And so I would go over it because he lives on his own, and I'd go over and visit him whenever, and he'd tell me about his course, and he's like, well, I'm the only English person there, literally. Like, there's like two other white guys there, but they're not English. There's one guy who's like Romanian, the other guy's Polish, and he said, well, I am surrounded by African people, Nigerian or Ghanaian or whatever. And you got some Middle Eastern, some Indian people there, but and he said everyone else is completely and utterly inept in what they're doing. They have no idea what is going on, and most of them can hardly speak English. So yeah, but yeah, I would yeah, I would visit him and see how he's getting on with his course and stuff, and he'll tell me about it. And he's like, oh, me and the other white guys, we're the only ones who are actually productive in the class. But somehow everybody passed and got a certificate. And he said all the others are not even a waste of space. Um, but he's because of his line of work, it's very stressful and it's very kind of uh, difficult. I mean, I wouldn't want to do it at all. I wouldn't want to go anywhere near that sort of thing. Um, so he has become extremely uptight, um, very stressed and uptight. Um, I uh, visit him now and again, and he doesn't like he doesn't really like having anybody around. He doesn't really like seeing anybody. He lives not far from me. My middle brother has disappeared, gone off and done whatever he's doing. I don't really know what he's up to. I don't hear anything from him. He knows where I am. He can call me if he wants to, but he doesn't. But my youngest brother, he didn't go far, and he's like literally a few roads away, and I can go see him whenever. But well, he's always working. It's like I don't know how many hours, and there's a lot of hours, and there's some weeks where he's working every single day, like all day. Um, what I don't know how many hours. A lot of hours. 30 odd hours, 40 hours. I'm not sure, but maybe more than that. I don't know, but he's working a lot, but he doesn't have any friends. He doesn't see anybody. He doesn't have a girlfriend. He doesn't sort of do anything. He just works. He lives on his own. He I come round to see him sometimes, and the place is just like there's like bags of takeaway rubbish on the floor and stuff, and you know he's he hasn't really got anything going on, so he's working this stressful like shit job, right? Every single day for some weeks, um, and he tells me about how difficult it can be and how fucking stressful it is and how shit it is. Um, he does all these hours, and I just think I wouldn't. To me, I'm thinking, what is the point? What is the point? You know, I wouldn't be able to maintain my motivation to keep working. I wouldn't be able to maintain it at all. He, I don't know what motivates him. He doesn't have a girlfriend. He doesn't have anybody. He doesn't see his friends. He doesn't go on holiday. It's not like he's saving money so he can go on holiday. It's not like he's saving money for anything. He's just existing in his place, and when he's not working, he's there, but he just wants to lay in his bed all day and just rot. And and me, I would struggle to have the motivation to keep working at that job. I would I would think, what's the point? Because if I had that job, right? If I had that job and I was, but I had a girlfriend and a wife and possibly even children, I would be working so fucking hard and making the money so I can, feed my family and look after my family and keep them, make sure they're all right. I'll pay for absolutely everything, and I'd never even think about um, needing motivation. I will have the motivation. I'll be there and I'll be working for as many hours as I can get. I wouldn't even think about it. That's all I'd be thinking about. I'd be thinking about making sure that my family is all right. Um, but he doesn't have that. So I don't know where he gets his motivation from. We're all built differently, but if it was me, I would just, after a while, I'll just get burnt out, and I'd think, fucking, I've had enough of this job. I'd be thinking about killing myself quite often. I would think about just giving up and quitting and not even coming in anymore. And yeah, yeah, he just doesn't do anything. There's nothing going on at all. I don't know where he's getting his motivation from, and I don't know what he's actually working towards. I want to ask him, like, what's your goal? What's your goal? What do you want? Um, what are you looking for? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to accomplish? You know, um, you wanna you make your money so you can sit around and eat fucking takeaway all day at home and just rot in bed. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what else there is um, for him. And yeah, because when you really think about it, a man, um, I mean, there's a lot of men these days who are brain rotted with who don't have any value in who don't have any values, right? They don't have any interest in the family dynamic or they don't have any interest in the future or anything like that. They don't give a shit. They just want to get drunk. They just want to, have sex with random women and whatever. And but a real man, really, a man needs purpose and responsibility. That's what a real man needs. And even these men who like having degenerate lifestyles, that's really what they need as well. Deep down, you know, they need responsibility and purposeful life. Um, because if men don't have that, then they tend to become really quite self-destructive. Uh, kind of like what I'm doing tonight, I suppose. Just drinking, um, drinking whatever. But but like I say, I don't have purpose. I don't have responsibility. You know. Um, when I was living with my nan, I had all the motivation I could need. I never even thought about it. You know, if she needed something, I'll be up and I'll be ready and I'll be doing stuff for her. I'll be fucking cleaning the house. I'll be cooking for her. I'll be going out for a walk with her. I'll be there for her for whatever she needs. Whatever she needs, you know? Um, a man is more concerned about other people than themselves. So when it comes to myself, you know, working an extremely stressful, difficult job like my brother does, um, just for myself, there isn't enough motivation there at all. You know, when it's just me, and I think I could work a much easier job, a much less stressful job, right? That's probably lower paying job, but all I've got to do is just pay for myself and pay to look after myself, you know. Um, so, um, yeah, but that's just me. That's just me. That's just how I feel about things. Purpose and responsibility is extremely important to maintain motivation for men, I think. And if you don't have any purpose or responsibility, then fucking what's the point? If you've only got to feed yourself, then I just think, oh fuck it, whatever. I can't be bothered. So, but yeah, I guess I'll be prepping for now for the wars to come. Now, I got some ideas of what to expect and who to prepare yourself um, against, um, but also it makes you wonder if this is all a plan, because to demoralize the population, to possibly even encourage um, some kind of um, societal degradation because there is indeed a plan, it makes me wonder, you know. I'm not going to go into too much detail what I think, because obviously it's YouTube. Um, I mean, I'm just going to say, maybe what if there is like an elite class, an elite group, right, who's on top of everything, and they know exactly that, you know, they have cultivated an entire generations of morons, basically Morlocks, right? Um, and everybody says, "Oh no, look how society is decaying," and then the people on the top, and they go, "Ah yes," and they're rubbing their hands together, and they're going, "Ah yes, it's all coming to plan. It's all coming to fruition," you know, and they may or may not have large noses. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just I'm just wondering. I'm just thinking. You know, it's all very strange. But regardless of who may be responsible for this plan, you know, I think the ones we really should be blaming is the boomers for even letting this happen in the first place, for allowing mass migration to completely ruin this country, which it is. It's caused so much isolation. So many, like, all the whites have moved out all the major cities, and they've all moved to the countryside. They've all moved out to the countryside. Um, I wonder why, isn't it? Um, yeah, so I'm going to say prepare for the potential, um, for any potential future, is what I'm saying. Um, hmm, I'm probably going to be a Fallout Raider or something. Or no, I prefer to think that I've got more of a purpose than that, actually, because like I've mentioned before, that I think the universe is programmed in a certain way, and I feel like I can't seem to go anywhere, right? Nothing seems to change, or nothing seems to work for me. So I think, what if the universe is sort of holding me in place? The program is holding me in place until it's my time to kind of become the messiah figure, as I have been, or the universe has had planned for me. I don't know. I don't know. Who knows? But it makes me wonder. It makes me wonder. Makes me wonder, because you I look through my eyes, right? I look through my eyes, right? And I look around and I think, is everybody else real? You know, I know that I'm real because I can see through my eyes. And I look around and I think, is everyone else real as well? Or they just, you know, I don't know. Am I supposed to be the shepherd to lead the sheep? Is what I'm saying. Am I supposed to be the one to? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. To be honest, I'm probably just full of shit. Probably just I'd spend too much time alone just thinking about things, um, like like a little schizoid. But yeah. Right, I think I'm going to end this now. Yeah, thanks for listening. Goodbye.